Big shout out to Foreign Motorsports. This is the before, the moment of pure, naive optimism. This is a S55 powered BMW M4, and while it's an amazing car, we wanted to unlock its final form. The plan? Ditch the factory twin turbos and swap in this absolute unit, a full bottom mount single turbo kit from Ford and Motorsports. Just look at this thing. The whole kit is built around a legendary Borg-Warner turbo, famous for its insane responsiveness. And the manifold? It's a tubular, twin scroll, equal length work of art. In simple terms, it's designed to get exhaust gases to the turbo as efficiently as possible, which means less lag and just a tidal wave of power. The goal was simple: turn the M4 into a monster with violent power delivery and a sound that would make other cars weep. Boxes on boxes on boxes. These are some maintenance items that we are going to change as well. Also some upgrades, but that's later in the video. This bad boy right here is no joke. The first step in any single turbo conversion is getting the stock turbos out. And this is where our delusion met a brutal reality. The S55 engine bay is packed tighter than a carry-on for a 2-week trip. BMW engineers somehow crammed 2 turbos, a cooler, and a universe of plumbing into a space barely big enough for a house cat. So here's how it went. You're going to need this E12 socket to remove this brace for the engine bay. Also, you're going to need another socket as well, but I'll show you later in the video. For this next bolt, you're going to need an E16. Now, removing all these plastics, these braces, these bolts, it's not fun, but I tell you one thing, it is part of the job. So just enjoy it while you can. Also, if you watched my last video that I uploaded, I definitely did go get some ice cream. I didn't put sprinkles on it though. Make sure you have this 16mm socket for the 2 bolts in the middle of that silver brace. Now I think it's time to remove both the charge pipes from the charge cooler and the turbos. The stock bolt clamp size is 6mm, but these can vary if you have upgraded charge pipes. There are different sizes like 8mm. These intakes are actually in the way of removing those charge pipes, so let's get these intakes out first and then I'll show you how to take the charge pipes out. Also, yes guys, I am wearing slippers in the summer. I like to be at my shop and I try to be comfortable, man. Can't blame me. The clamps I am removing from the intake, they are 8mm, they're aftermarket. There is a 10mm right here to take off this intake pipe. Okay, now for the charge pipes, there's 2 bolts. There's one right here, and then there's one right there. We're gonna take both of those out so we can get the charge pipes out. All right, my phone died because I got a temperature warning. It is hot in Connecticut, but here are the turbos. Turbo 1 in the back, turbo 2 here. Unplug all the sensors. I already unplugged the O2 sensors here. and then work our way to the bottom of the chassis to take out the turbos. All right, let's speed this up. All right, now let's go underneath. All right, so you know how I work. Anything with the turbo side or the turbos, I take off the passenger wheel. And don't mind my mess, I'm not perfect like your hairline. Bro, it is so hot. I've been chucking these Gatorades. I feel like I'm about to turn into the Kool-Aid Man. Shit crazy. Okay, now here's where we need to disconnect the downpipes. This means getting under the car and battling rusty heat-cycled bolts. Reaching them requires us to be in a position that would make a yoga instructor proud, wedging our arms into gaps that were never meant to see the light of day. I'm not gonna bore you guys, so you already know. Every quarter turn of the ratchet felt like a monumental victory. All right, guys, now it's time to take out this post mount with the motor mount. Put a jack on the oil pan right here. I usually use a wood block so it doesn't interfere with anything. Yo, this light sucks. Okay, to remove these bolts right here, you need a Bro.
Stop it! Get out of my room! Get out!
Okay, to remove those bolts, you need a E14. An E14, and then there's 3 bolts on the motor mount that are E12 or E10. I think the E12. So removing those parts are necessary to get the turbos out. It is really tight on that side, so you want all the space you can get. Yeah, got a better light. Forgot I had this one. Yes, sir. All right, so now that we have a better view of the turbos, it's time to pull them out. Let me give you guys a... For the S55 guys that don't look at their turbos, or maybe one day wanna pull their turbos out, this is what you gotta do. Okay, now we are here, unbolting the turbos themselves. Finally, we could reach the bolts holding the turbos to the manifold. This was the final battle. It's a physical challenge of scraped knuckles and blind faith. Feeling for bolts you can't see and praying you have the right socket. After what felt like an eternity, they were free. Okay guys, at this moment in the video, I was dying of exhaustion. I was drenched in sweat and I was so tired I could lay down then wake up next week. When I tell you, I feel like I fought a grizzly bear and lost. This is a journey that is definitely not finished yet. I'm about to install this 4N Motorsports bottom mount single turbo kit, and nothing about this is simple. Unlike me. All right, day 2 of the S55 single turbo build, and the stock twins are officially out. That was the tough part, and now the real fun begins. Today, the entire 4N Motorsport single turbo kit is going in. We're going to walk you through every single step, from wrestling this new manifold into place all the way to fitting the downpipe. Stick with us because we found a couple of key things that will save you a massive headache, and you won't find them in the instructions. This is where we stop chasing dyno numbers and start chasing a feeling, transforming the whole personality of this F80 from that instant hit of the twins to the classic pull you to redline thrill of a big single. Let's get into it. Before we even think about touching the car, we're doing as much as we can on the bench. It just makes life so much easier. Here's the heart of the 4N Motorsport kit. the new single scroll manifold, and of course, the turbo itself. The quality on this manifold is seriously impressive. The welds are clean, the runners are designed to be as close to equal length as possible, which is a huge part of what gives these kits that iconic, completely new S55 sound. Now let's install this piece of art. So to fit this manifold in here, I removed these exhaust studs. It was not fun, but I took them out just so it made it easier for me to install. Alright guys, it's time to put the turb ski on the car. This turbo is so big, I'm going to take off the housing, the cold-side housing. Also, this is a wastegate actuator rod. This is for, let me show you guys. One of these wastegate actuators, you can use either one. They're both the same thing, but you have to change the rod because it is a different turbo setup. Let's remove this, and then we're going to put the turbo hot side on. Now let's go throw this on the car. All right, I'm gonna start off by saying I hope you guys went to the gym because this turbo was huge. You guys know what I say, be careful and take your time. And remember guys, you took off the cold side of the turbo, so those turbine fins, there is nothing protecting it. So you wanna be as careful as possible. I cannot emphasize this enough. You do not wanna mess up any of those fins on there and end up having to buy another turbo because I know they are not cheap. Yeah! All right, the turbo is on, the exhaust manifold is on. Now what's next is the oil lines, the coolant lines, and the block offs. There is a block off for the drain right there. There's a block off for there's two ports right there. This right here is the oil feed line that goes to the top of the turbo. Jeez, this turbo is huge. Pause. All right, now let's tighten up this oil feed line with this 14mm wrench. All right, we have the coolant lines on. Okay, so pretty much everything is wrapped up on the bottom. I still have to plug in some coolant lines, but I put the cold side in a position where it's not next to the fins or anything on the turbo. Because before I put this on, I have to change the valve cover and injectors, and that's over here with the maintenance items. The coils, upgraded injectors, and the full valve cover with valve cover gasket. So let me get that changed out, get the injectors in there, and then we can move on with finishing installing this turbo kit. So I'm not gonna sit here and bore you guys. We already have a video on a S55 valve cover removal, so you already know. Now let's get the new cover on. All right, now let's pull these injectors. What I'm about to show you is a very important step. Remember that rod I told you guys about? Make sure when you're putting the front housing on that you line it up with the hole on the hot side, the wastegate. I'll show you right now. So you guys want to make sure you line this rod up with this wastegate. If you do not do this when you're putting the front of the turbo on, the cold side, you're gonna have to take it back off anyway. So remember, when you're putting the front face of the turbo on, make sure to line it up with this wastegate. All right, now that most of this stuff is installed, I have to gap the spark plugs and then I have to adjust the wastegate linkage with my laptop. Before I put the downpipe, so let's get to it. Big shout out to Berger Motorsports for this spark plug gap tool. It makes everything easier. I also got this as well. This helps with the gap because it has numbers on there. You can't really see it. There you go. You can see it right there. Makes gapping spark plugs way easier. What is gapping spark plugs? Why do we have to gap spark plugs? In simple terms, closer the gap, the higher the horsepower. For example, all right, these are stock spark plugs right here. And these come stock, brand new, gapped at let me see if I can get it on camera. 0.024. This is the stock spark plug gap. Now let's say the car's stock, you would keep it at that gap. Now if you tune the car, let's say MHD, OTS tune, OTS means off the shelf tune, you want to close this gap to 0.022. And I'll show you guys on here. Right there. Now, like I said before, the more horsepower you make or more boost you make, the closer this gap is to here. Better spark. All right, so the tuner from Wedge Performance said he wanted to start with 0.022. So we're gonna start with this one. Now, when you guys put these feeler gauges next to the diode, you just want to feel like a little drag. This one's perfect. There's no drag there. Perfect. Now it's time to adjust the wastegate. As you guys can see, my laptop is right here. I'm about to do that now. Right here, and go like this. Right here, just, yeah.
We got spirit, yes we do. We got spirit, how about you?
Yeah! Yes, sir. Right on the money. This is day 3 of the single turbo build, and this is the final push before we fire this thing up. Now, we've got a long list today. We have the downpipe, low pressure fuel pump, J-pipe, and the motive port injection fuel system. Let's get this M4 dialed in and ready to make some noise. As you guys seen in my last video, I had a lot of stuff still left to do on this car, but what I'm gonna do now is pull the intake manifold off because I wanna install the port injection. This manifold is only held down by a couple 11mm bolts and a few connectors.
About the car flexing like Sylvester. No, sir.
These are the extended studs and gaskets that you need to install the port injection. This is the line for the port injection plate. To install the extended studs for the plate, you do have to remove the old intake manifold studs. They are E7 to remove. What I'm about to do here is clean the surface. You always want to make sure the surface is clean for the new gaskets and the port injection plate. And there you go. The new studs are on. Make sure to leave a comment below of your favorite BMW build. So if you guys didn't know, what port injection does, it gives us extra injectors to put more fuel in the cylinders to make more power. Let me finish putting these intake manifold gaskets on this port injection plate and I'll show you how to install it. When you guys are installing this plate, just make sure there's enough clearance here. As you can see, I did this for an example that the fuel line is in the way and the starter cable is in the way. So let's make some space here so we can fit this rail in. To get this rail in here, you have to take off the harness for the port injection. Also, you have to remove the starter cable clip that's here, and then you have to remove the plastic vacuum pipe clip that's here. Now it is time to install the port injection fuel line with the ethanol content sensor. This is a little trick I use sometimes. I use a 13mm wrench to push the fuel line in so I can pop it off the line. Now when you guys install this cable, you want to make sure this top nut is secured. You don't want to put it too tight because there's an O-ring there, but you want to make sure it's secure. Also, on this line right here, there is a push down that locks it to the stock fuel line that runs up here. Now you want to make sure this is on. Pull it like this, make sure it's tight because you are putting the charge cooler on, you are putting the intake manifold on. You do not want to have to take it back off because of a fuel leak. Unfortunately guys, I won't be able to install the ethanol sensor because the fuel line did not come with the kit. So I'm going to be installing this later on. You probably won't see it in the video, but it's just a line that goes from here to the stock fuel line. It goes from here to the bottom. It goes from this line, this is the port injection line, to the bottom of the stock fuel line down there. As well as the 10-bar fuel pressure sensor.
What's wrong with you, bro? What the heck? You tripping, bro. You tripping.
Now that we got the intake manifold back on, we got the wiring all set up, I'm gonna install the J-pipe, the motive reflex. I'm not gonna take a video of that because there's so many videos online, as you could see here.
Yeah, baby, you did this one.
I'm about to prep this J-pipe for install. I usually check these Allen fittings because these come with extra ones for things such as a hop switch or meth injection. Now, if you guys watched the last video, you know about this O-ring that's in here. Do not forget to change this over to the new J-pipe. I've seen this countless times where people just forget or don't even know to swap over this O-ring. This can cause an air leak, a boost leak, and that's something you do not want on a fresh build. All right, guys, it's about that time. I'm gonna wire. I was going to put the charge cooler on, but I want to wire this first because it is tight over there. So I want to wire this first, then put the charge cooler on and wrap this up. But I wanted to show you guys, when you guys buy Reflex, they do have QR codes on the boxes, and these QR codes take you directly their website for the wiring instructions. Makes it easier. Okay guys, I finished wiring the motor reflex. It took me a while. It always takes a little bit, but that's wired in. Now I'm gonna put the charge cooler, the intake, and then we're gonna move on to the downpipe. This J-pipe is a weak point for these S55s, so you wanna make sure everything is tight, because once you go into any boost, a clamp is gonna pop off or something will pop off for sure. Just make sure everything is tight.
Nice.
Now let's move on to the downpipe.
They know I made my wool work, hop out with an oak.
Make sure to like the video if you're excited about this build, because I don't even know if this car is gonna run, but let's find out.
There's no time unlike me.
That is a wrap for today. Still have 2 more things to do. Fuel pump install and the dyno. Now this fuel pump is like no other. This fuel pump is from Precision Raceworks, and it came with an extra pump because it wants to pump out all that horsepower. Now it's time to remove the stock fuel pump and install the upgraded one. All right, now in the instructions, there's a little, let me put this down. This is a stage 3 pump, so this clip has to be removed. To take the top hat off, so we could put this pump on. Without taking that clip out, you are gonna have, I don't even think it's possible if you keep the top hat on. Okay, this is the little clip I was talking about. It goes right here on the spring side. I used a little flathead to get it off. And voila. Now to install this pump, you have to put the small pump in first, but this was not easy by any means. Just take your time.
said, and fucking sane.
It is day 4. This is the day all of you guys have been waiting for. So let's make it to the dyno because I think I'm gonna be late.
I'll be back home, but I gotta go to work.
All right, so if you guys didn't know, we had a super long drive. It was about an hour from where we were, but this is our first time going to this dyno. Honestly, I wasn't really worried about it. We seen some nice stuff on the way there, like this drift BMW here. Has super cool tints. I tried to get some cool roller shots, but we were kind of late to the dyno, so we were trying to rush there. We were so focused on that, getting there on time, not keeping people waiting. Now, this build has came a long way from day 1 all the way to day 4. If you guys have not checked those out, make sure to go check out 1 through 3 and you will understand what I'm talking about. Watching a stock car drastically change like that, it sounds different, drives different. It's just an animal already, and I cannot wait to see what it does on the dyno.
Can't believe that we made it this far. Can't believe that we made it this far. Look, mama, now your son is a star.
Okay guys, we are at the dyno. We made it. Our car's leaking coolant, but that's another story. The M4 is on the dyno and we're gonna see what it makes. We have no clue what horsepower this car is gonna make or if we're gonna make it off the dyno, but let's see. First pull, and it was 667. We out. We out of here. Okay, now 667 first pull is insane, but we were not done yet. $676.
Stock on the log. It's 85. Yep. Keep it on. But about now you get 17.
Bro, what you think, bro?
This shit about to make 7.
Bro, this shit about to be like 8.
Right?
So the move, what you think, Cinco?
Woo! 668. Oh my god.
First pull? That's crazy. Make sure to like the video.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Yo, that's insane. So we went to this dyno with a goal and we were not leaving without it. So let's get some more pulls in until we reach our limit. Not really. Yeah. Go on corn. Eat some corn. Go on a diet. Corn only.
You guys got popcorn in this? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go to. You know where that's at, right?
No, well,
Shout out to this guy. He let us use the dyno.
shout out to you guys for being prepared and having a well-built car.
Y'all heard that, right? Y'all better like and subscribe for that. But look at this list right here. Top horsepower. Look at this list right here. I don't know if we're gonna be able to make it, but we're gonna be close to number one of these right here. After the first 2 pulls, we definitely knew we were on the right path, so we kept pushing. In our heads, a few more pulls and this car will be ready to touch the moon by dinner time. But without the tuning support from Steve from Wedge, and without the 4N Motorsport single turbo kit, we would not be able to make this possible.
This shit right now.
How many pounds is it?
32 pounds.
Okay.
It'd be cool if we could see. I think we usually got to like 36.
Bro,
Bro, what?
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
you know how much power that is?
Bro, this is gonna touch, I'm telling you, like 740 the next rev.
It all depends on what that boost actually was and what we're actually targeting. You know what I mean? Because maybe it didn't even make. If you were targeting 30, maybe it only made 27 or 28. You know what I mean? Like. You can actually look at the line. Can you? Yeah.
Bumbleclaw!
Now, any bumbuckler, one of them come next to me. Watch out now. Hurt them! Hurt them! Hurt them!
What is that, bro? What you eating, bro?
Pumpkin rice, Jamaican pasta, and sweet chili salmon.
Okay.
A1.
Okay. All right.
Still ain't getting no weight, but I'm
Yo.
Like water.
You know I got that candy.
Dripping like water.
Yeah.
You want 'em, I got 'em.
So at this point, we seen the dyno graph and we seen that the tuner was fine tuning the tune, but we just kept seeing the numbers go down. I'm not gonna lie, we were losing hope that we wouldn't reach our horsepower goal that we set before we got here. Wait, why do you like these guns? Because these things make power.
Sounds skirtable. You're the Honda guy that sings with you.
I need his tuner.
You need his tuner?
He replies faster.
Yo, bro, what do you think it's gonna make?
725.
725? I got 740. Yo, bro, what do you think it's gonna make, bro? 750? 750? Alright. 704. I was close. I was still close. Yeah. 704. Let's go. Let's go. 700 horsepower car. Shout out to the man.
Still working it up, bro. I think there's still.
You think there's still room?
I think there's still room.
I don't know, I'm not too super long, but I think there's still
Yo, look at bro face. Serious. Serious. All right, guys, we're gonna do one more pull. What you thinking, man?
That and fucking insane.
We're gonna do one more pull to wrap it up, and then we're out of here. So what is this graph right here? What did you do?
This is the first pull of the day versus our last pull of the day.
Okay.
And you can see how much the mid-range we picked up. I mean, that's pretty close. First pull of the day at 5,500 RPMs, he was at 564 horse. We're now at 682.
Yeah, so it picked up a lot from the first pull.
It's all in this mid-range. I mean, you're talking over 100 horsepower. Right.
Sound crazy, right? That should sound crazy.
You're gonna feel the biggest difference to you on the ride home is gonna be how it gets. Like once you're into it, it's gonna feel relatively the same. The shocker is gonna be when you step on that pedal and you're waiting. You're gonna be like, okay, anytime now, like you normally would be, and it's already gonna hit.
It's gonna smack. Like wake up, wake up.
100 wheel horsepower, 100 torque, it's gonna smack. Huh? Is it?
Damn.
Your town got the rain, but ours.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, that's true.
Actually, it was completely dry, bro.
Yeah,
it was completely dry in my house too.
and you literally see the separation when you drive through. Yeah. Like, bam. So you like, yo, if I still over here.
I do hear thunder though. Our goal was reached, and the car came off the dyno in one piece. We reached our goal of 700 horsepower with ease and more room for improvement. Alright guys, the car is tuned, it made power, and I am wrapping up this video. If you guys like this content, just like the video, comment down below what you thought the car was gonna make, and I'll see you guys again.